Tom and Gerry Show is sponsored by findavenue.ie.
For over 10 years, findavenue.ie has been working in the Dublin area, helping thousands of companies with all their venue needs. From corporate parties to away days, training seminars, conferences, summer barbecues to Christmas parties. The lot.
As a pair of comedians who know what it's like when the wrong venue gets booked for the wrong occasion, we can assure you that findavenue.ie is the go-to service when you're looking for a venue for your upcoming event. Simply contact them at findavenue.ie and they'll do the rest, saving you precious time and hassle.
Best of all, findavenue.ie is absolutely free to use.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you now, with findavenue.ie, free means free. No hidden costs or sneaky charges, all backed up with an incredible team offering you great customer service throughout the whole process. If you need a venue for anything from corporate day out to a quiz night, a gala dinner, or even a virtual event, findavenue.ie is your one-stop shop for all.
Head over to findavenue.ie to see how they can help you with your next event.
Thanks again to this week's sponsor for the Tom and Gerry Show, findavenue.ie. Welcome everybody to the Tom and Gerry Show.
Harry is keeping.
By Jesus Christ, I'm Tom O'Mahony.
And I'm Gerry McBride. How are you all doing?
You're all very welcome to the weird and wonderful world of Tom and Gerry, where we put the word to right in our context anyway, with what we think is interesting. Thanks very much to people that were in contact. But the people were messaging Gerry, they were actually sound about it. They were going, nice, class.
Yeah, there you go. It's nice to see it. You love to see it, Tom. Also, I'll tell you, the weird and wonderful world, it's not weird to me. This is like, this is our normal, Tom. This is our rest and gear, the nonsense we talk about.
I'm trying to think about the everyman, Ger. Although to the everyman, everybody's a bit weird these days. So I suppose if we can, if we can nip up those corners for people to go, oh yeah, that's exactly the kind of weird stuff I'm into. Cool.
I tell you, if you want to pull it back down away from weird, Tom, I want to talk to you about the weather just for 1 wee second, just to show our wonderful listeners that we can do mundane if we're asked.
I knew you couldn't help yourself. Next, you're going to be telling me your favorite route to work and where you go. Oh Lord, go on.
No, because I got to tell you, the weather these days, right, the past couple of days, it's what I like in weather. It's a challenge. Because it's lovely and bright and sunny, but then you go out and it would founder you, Tom. I don't know do you get foundered down your way, or is that a Monaghan thing?
Well, no, foundered? No, foundered wouldn't be, but I've taken to using the phrase, my guest is well and truly flabbered by these things.
Oh, your guest is flabbered, no?
Yeah.
That's, yeah, I'm going to borrow that one as well. But no, to be foundered, I'm going to have to Google that and see, is it actually a word or is it just like a Monaghan thing? I'm foundered. I'm foundered with the cold, Tom. It's one step up from being skinned.
Oh, Jesus. No, I've never heard to be foundered. I definitely think, do you know what? It's very plausible that it is a Monaghan thing, because in all fairness, Monaghan is a thing in itself. Like,
this is it. We have our own little, we've got the Oxford Monaghan dictionary up our way. So yeah, you go out and you get foundered, and then you come back in and it's all nice and bright again. And you go out and it hailstoned today, Tom, out of nowhere. I was putting a wash on the line and it hailstoned.
See, that's how you gauge your life these days, as I do too. Is what is it doing to the washing, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's it doing to the washing?
I got to tell you, Tom, I've said this to you several times. I'm going to say it to the listeners now. I love doing the washing. That's my job. That's my job, to properly get dirty clothes clean and back in the place to be. I love it. And I know I've got the challenging weather where you have to be like out with a divining rod before you hang a wash out.
I know there's absolutely, it's people come to Ireland and go, why do people always talk about the weather? It's like, have a gander. Have a gander.
Yeah,
any day of the week.
Yeah.
There's 7 different seasons in one day. So it's
not just nice. We have an adversarial relationship with the weather, that if you want to go out and hang a wash up on the line, you have to scatter dry chicken bones on the ground and read what the day is going to be like. You have to soothsay what the day is going to be like.
My leaves.
You got to read tea leaves, Tom.
Yeah, my tea leaves.
To find out whether or not you put a wash out.
Yeah, I mean, heaven forbid you'd ever fire up the dryer. Do you know what I mean? Like, Jesus.
That's a last. That's a last. We're not going to get all that far off topic here, Tom. We will start the show here very shortly. What the people came to listen to, not just this nonsense at the start. Our tumble dryer is a little bit on the blink, and it only ever goes on an absolute last ditch basis. The last hope for getting dry clothes for the morning is the dryer. And I think there's a bearing or something gone in it. So you have to kind of manually spin the drum a couple of times before you put it going. It won't start cold. You have to crank it up.
What kind of Fred Dibna cobbled together a heap
I
of shit?
it is it's like fine. I don't know what I did to the drive belt of it. Well, I could tell you exactly what I did for the drive belt. Don't put 12 kilos of clothes in a 10-kilo dryer, guys. That's all I'm going to tell you. But you have to put your hands into the drum and catch the fins and like spin it. So anytime I'm drying clothes, it's like I'm trying to start like a World War II biplane because Jerry's in the air.
Stand
You
back and
know,
give
the
it a big
Red
thumb.
Baron's in the air. Get the birds airborne. You know, get the Spitfires going.
Stand back, give it a big thumbs up, and pull the chocks from underneath it, and off she goes. And
That's
you just
exactly what it
salute
is.
it.
Yeah.
You salute it and start
Yes.
drying your clothes.
Godspeed, sir. Godspeed.
Jesus. To be fair, I'm deadly interested in all that. I'm not entirely sure the audience are, but look at, I do agree with you. I enjoy the washing. I enjoy the washing.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well,
There's a
listen, let's
simple
get
achievement in it.
launched. Exactly. Let's get launched into the show, Tom. And the fine folks, the fine listeners of the Tom and Jerry show will know at this stage that we start every week with a look at the week's big noise, the brouhaha, the talk of the town. Tom, the weekly what have you.
This is a very complicated case, Mod. You know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous, and a lot of strands to keep in my head, man. You know.
The weekly what have you. How was your week anyway? Just I'm concerned. I'm always thinking about you. I'm going to wonder what he's up to here now. And how would Jerry hand? I had to shave the dog yesterday, Jerry. Yeah, and that's not a metaphor or a euphemism for anything. I actually had to cut the dog's hair yesterday, and I purchased a thing from Aldi that promised all, as things do in the
And
Middle
delivered.
Island Aldi, and turns out it's for a very small, already tight-haired dog. So let's just say we had to start on the high blades first and work down a dog that should have been done in
And walked
15
way down.
minutes. Yeah,
Well,
she
there
she
you
turned into a big silage contracting fucking job and for a finish. And we had a fallen out a few times during it. I won't lie myself in the dog. Even she was like, Jesus, man, I only came in for a trim and this is what you're doing
Yeah.
to me. Like
What are you doing to me?
it was
Well, Tom, it sounds like you had a bad week, but you
yeah.
didn't have a week as bad as the subject of this week's weekly what have you. Tom, how could we let it go by without mentioning the death of O.J. Simpson?
Oh, low J by. I mean, he's in the zeitgeist so much. Only in America too, Jerry. Could somebody be like sniggeringly kind of going, "Oh, sure, what's he like?" Do you know what I mean? Like who murdered his ex-wife and her lover? Like only in America would they go, sure, you know what? He's an awful
I,
scoundrel, that fella.
I actually contradict you there a little bit, Tom, because I feel like the Americans' attitude to OJ is a very Irish sort of a thing. Because that'd be like what we would do. We'd be like, "Oh, sure, look, he was in a bit of trouble there a couple of years ago now, but you can't speak ill of him. He has cancer there now. You can't don't be saying ill about him now. Now he's not well." OJ Simpson, for like the 5 people listening that may not know who OJ Simpson is, OJ Simpson passed away last week, age 76, from prostate cancer. He's a double murderer. Uh, First and foremost, a lot of newspaper headlines, Tom, led with, oh, former NFL star OJ Simpson. I'm like, that's far from the thing he's most famous for.
Sandwich lover,
But he
OJ
was a
Simpson.
footballer.
He did play football and he was very good at baseball. He was an all-round incredible sports star, which
Yeah,
buys you, as we well know, in any nation, buys you a lot of credit in the bank.
it
When,
buys you a lot of collateral. But the one thing, I'm going to be honest with you, Tom, until what happened in the 90s happened, and we're going to get into that in a little second, I'd never heard of OJ Simpson. Not, and come to find out later on in life that, oh, yeah, that's Nordberg from the Naked Gun movies. I didn't know that at the time. Everybody's on about his NFL career, Tom, but the last time he ran with a ball was 1979.
yeah. And here's the thing. This is I don't know, is it a Mandela effect or is it like, you know, the people that go, oh, I was into the Cranberries before anybody knew about the Cranberries.
Right.
I think NFL is so big now and UFC is so big now and stuff. Lads are going, what? You don't know who the juice was? And you're like, you
Yeah.
didn't know who the
You
juice
didn't
was
know who the
either.
juice was.
When
Don't
he was,
start me.
would you give it a rest? Just look, Bo Jackson, that's who you knew because it was on the Game Boy. You know what I mean? Or it was on whatever game. You know, this is all lads knew. And now NFL is
You know,
big.
I was a grown man before I realized that John Madden was the commentator and not an active football player
Oh, I thought he was something to do with me.
in his Super Nintendo days.
But
He
yeah,
might have actually been a coach. I don't know.
I don't
That's how
know
well versed
either.
I am in the world.
And we have no
Any
business
rate,
knowing. We've no business
we're
knowing.
we're straying off the man, and the man in question here is O.J. Simpson, who, yes, he did indeed throw a ball around in the 70s, Tom, to some acclaim. He was a running back. I mean, I don't understand American
He
football
ran
terms,
back
but
a lot. He'd go
he
forward,
ran,
but he'd
yeah,
run back, I'd say, a lot.
yeah, yeah. He ran backwards.
I don't know. Geez,
I
that'd be
don't know.
so, that'd be impressive if you could run backwards and catch the ball.
Whatever he did, he was very good at it, and he went on to star in a whole bunch of movies. He was in the Naked Gun movies everybody's talking about. Nobody's talking about Capricorn 1, Tom. That was a hell of a movie. I do like that very much.
What the fuck is Capricorn 1? What is
Capricorn
Capricorn?
1, Capricorn 1, right, is a movie about it's a movie from like the early 80s, and it is about
Star
an
signs.
attempt to no, it's you know the way they say, some people say, like, oh, they faked the moon landings. Well,
Yes.
Capricorn 1 is faking a landing on Mars. So what they're going to do is they're going to fake a landing on Mars. So they're really going to put astronauts up in a rocket.
Right.
And then they're going to fake it from there on out, and then like, oh, they died on the way home, or they perished on the way home. Not telling the astronauts, they're going to kill the astronauts, like purposefully kill the astronauts. And O.J. Simpson is one of the astronauts, and him and I think Elliot Gould's in it as well. Anyway, they break free and run off into the desert, and they go, the NASA are like, or the evil spacecraft are like, no, like, we've already shown this rocket take off up into the air, and it's got no astronauts in it because we knocked them out and buried them in the Nevada desert. And now they're on the loose trying to get through the Nevada desert and bust this whole thing wide open.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd say if it was made
Capricorn
now,
1.
that would be actually. Do you know what? Maybe a psyop is what the conspiracy people would call it. I'll tell you when I heard of him
It,
first.
it might have been a psyop back then. Again, anyway, sorry, go on. We're
When
getting
I heard
wildly
of
off topic
when
as
I
we're known to do here, Tom.
heard of OJ first, he was our bus driver. Our school bus driver was also our video man. He had the video shop in Tipperary Town, and it was only on the second Naked Gun I was reading down through it. I went, oh, and he went, oh, he was like a huge sports star. He was an NFL player, and I'm looking at him going, what's an NFL player? Pretty much at the time, it's like, well, it's kind of like, but it's American football. Oh, and he played, and he was like, yeah, he's kind of the big name star that they got to put in it, like, and because I couldn't understand,
Yeah.
because Leslie Nielsen was hilarious, but Norberg
Yeah.
was
He's
just
the star.
would just rock up, like, and you're like, it jars, it doesn't make sense to me why they put this man in here, but now obviously they put him in because he was the juice.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Tom, what it's like. Like, Americans assuming that we would know who O.J. Simpson is in the Naked Gun and being like, don't you know who that is? That's O.J. Simpson, NFL running back, Hall of Famer. That's like us showing them Fatal Deviation and saying, you see your man there? See your man
Wow,
there? That's
wow,
Mikey Graham from
you've been
Boyzone. That's who that
waiting
is.
your
You
entire
don't know
life.
who you don't know who Mikey Graham is? Oh, come on. You have to have heard of Mikey Graham.
Wow, you
That's
have
what
been
that is.
waiting. People at home, if you have no idea what, it's Fatal Deviation, isn't it? Go.
We're gonna throw it. We're gonna throw some links up. Don't you worry.
Oh, oh,
Here we go.
oh, that is so juicy. That is, wow, what a brilliant reference. That's literally it. Yeah, I was
Thank
going to
you,
say we
Tom.
show him a picture of DJ Carey, his rise and fall from grace in recent times. But
Let's keep DJ Carey for a separate episode. Yeah,
oh
let's keep
yeah,
it. Let's
oh
keep, because I
yeah.
have a funny feeling he's going to be the big what have you of the week. The week he's going to be the weekly what have you now of his own very shortly. Let's get back to O.J. Simpson, Tom. Mid-90s, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman are murdered. Spoiler alert, by O.J. Simpson.
Uh-huh.
Trial of the century. Like, I was 14, 15 at the time. I did, like, again, big news. He's in a Bronco driving around the place, claiming he's going to, shoot himself and all this kind of thing. And the man's clearly guilty.
Yeah,
And yet, after the trial of the century, he is acquitted.
he is acquitted because a glove didn't fit. If anybody wants to go and find, there is a document, not a documentary. There's a TV show. I think it's like 3 or 4 parts, and Cuba Gooding Jr. plays him, and
Yes.
it's from the courtroom side of things, really, and how it totally tilted. It was like, he totally did this. But he did, how they tilted it for him to a way to do it. But after the whole outcome of that, because I remember seeing the Bronco thing, but not having a notion what I was looking at. But
No, not having a clue what was going on.
the neck of him then, the neck of him He stays pretty much in the public eye because, like, well, I'm OJ, and sure, I didn't do it, lads. I didn't do it at all. And then writes a book,
Yeah.
Gerry. Writes a book saying, well, look, if I did
Jesus
it.
Christ.
He literally called it, if I did it. And that made it to shelves. People went, what a devil. Huh? What a
Like
devil.
that OJ. I gotta tell you, like, and it's only when you look back at these things with adult eyes, Tom, that you realize when the world maybe got a little bit broken on you. What had happened was, uh, in the early 90s, in like 92, I think it was, there was that tape of police beating the absolute teetotal dog piss out of
Rodney King.
Rodney King, right? And they were let go on that, no charges, even though
Yeah.
they were on film beating the crap out of this guy. Uh, no charges whatsoever.
Yeah.
Innocent. And that caused massive riots in Los Angeles because obviously this was clear cut, open and shut case of police brutality, and yet
Not.
they were let go. So in a couple of years after the fact, now there's an African American superstar, O.J. Simpson, on trial for murder. You have to. I don't think I'm making it up. I think it was the belief at the time that if he was found guilty when these other 4 or 5 white lads were let go, that this would have kicked off a massive,
Or they would
massive
have
row.
burnt LA to the ground. And you know what I mean? In their
And
beliefs.
I think it's just a case of era. Will we let this one slide?
Yeah. Yeah. And
For peace sake, will we let it slide?
if you watch the show with Cuba Gooding Jr., that's absolutely what happens. It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus Christ. We can't fucking look.
We're
I
only
mean,
after cleaning up after the last riot.
and his solicitor, and one of his solicitors who was Kim Kardashian's father,
Yeah,
actual
yeah, that's
father,
right.
played by David Schwimmer
Oh,
in the TV show.
yeah, I was going to say what his name, Robert Kardashian, was it? No, that's the young fella. Anyway,
It's Willie
Eric, to
Kardashian.
hell with it.
Of
Yeah,
the
Sean
Mr.
Kardashian.
Kardashian. He was
Yeah,
but he was faltering towards the end. Even he was like, Jesus Christ. They were best friends, you see. But even he was like, Jesus
uh,
Christ, man, you totally did it. Like, I'm just saying, fucking,
yeah,
you,
absolutely did
you
this.
totally did it. And he kind of backed away into the hedge like Homer Simpson towards the end. But
Yeah,
his main
yeah.
solicitor, I can't remember his name, but he was an over the top kind of a character. And he found this glove that was apparently, at the scene, and it was definitely a glove that was used. And they got OJ, who had big football playing hands. They
Yeah,
went, try on the glove. And he went, I can't. It's what glove do you take? Let's say a size 10. Well, this glove's a size 8. And the judge couldn't hit the gavel fast enough. He was like, well,
yeah.
I think you'll
Get
find
out of here.
one away home there. One away home altogether for yourself. And geez, whew, yeah.
It's amazing time. It's like I would have been about 14 or 15 by the time it was all said and done. So between that point, between 92 with Rodney King and 95 with O.J. Simpson, you wouldn't have been far behind me, 14, 15. Like, I think that was a lesson to us that no, right and wrong don't apply if you don't want them to. Like, you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
perform crimes and get away with it. Good people don't always win. Sometimes the bad guys do win. And honestly don't want to get too deep on it here, Tom, because this is, reportedly a comedy podcast, but I really do think that kind of broke the fabric of right and wrong for me. How do you pull out of this one, Tom?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Gerry. You know what I mean? I mean, there was the Naked
Get
Gun.
it?
I mean, you can always go back and watch the Naked Gun. Those are pretty good. Like, you know what I mean? They were
Yeah,
very
oh
good.
man, yeah. You watch Naked Gun, O.J. Simpson as Norberg getting hit in the balls 10, 15 times.
It was right enough. I didn't fully understand it, to be honest with you. It was the Rodney King thing. I'd more of an understanding of. It was that, what how are they getting that, what, why, and the backlash. But I don't think I followed it as much. I was more much after the fact. It was like, oh, so this man killed his wife and her lover, and he got away with it. Oh, shouldn't that an American thing? Do
Yeah.
you know that's an American thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but he was later done.
There you go.
He was done later in life for he'd gone stark mad, and he had a group of friends, and he'd sold merch of his own, I think, and then broke into a Las Vegas hotel room to steal it back. And he was like, "It's my
To
stuff.
steal it back.
It's my stuff." And they were like, "We bought it," but they got him on that. They got him Geez, I don't know. Did he get 10 years or something for that? Where
He,
it
he got
was
nine. He got 9 years in jail over, and did 9 years in jail over. And nice to see him in jail for a while, but not for what he should have been. And there you go, Tom. That's our weekly What Have You on O.J. Simpson, double murderer. Rest in piss. I don't want to hear him again, and don't come at me with this. Oh, he's an excellent running back. Fuck.
apparently he was back in the day. That's all I'll say. Yeah. Good luck. Good
All
luck,
right,
OJ.
all right. Let's pull out. Let's pull out. Yeah, good luck, OJ. Yeah. Let's pull out of our weekly What Have You, Tom. Let's see what's next week. Yeah, next up on the Tom and Jerry Show. Let's take a look at someone who stood out this week. Not
Mm-hmm.
OJ standing out for dying. We're talking about someone that stood out for the right reason. You know, Tom. Someone that when you talk about them, you don't say, and then there's this lad. Tom, you say, and then there's
This lad.
this lad.
Now there's that guy.
This week's this lad. I mean, again, tell people have go, oh, why didn't you pick this lad? We picked this lad purely because, well, we love this lad and everything about this lad, but it was his appearance on First We Feast's wing challenge with Sean. I
Yes.
forget Sean. It is, of course, Irish American, my best friend in the world, Conan O'Brien,
Friend of the podcast.
friend of the podcast. Well, I mean, I guess he is, but
If he's a friend of you, he's a friend of the podcast, Tom.
There you
We're
go.
talking, yes, Conan O'Brien.
it was a
And
tremendous. We've all seen the First We Feast. And, like, they're brilliant. It's a brilliant idea, brilliant concept to try
it's
and
a
eat
great
these
show
things.
and very well done.
But Conan appeared on it last week, and my God, like the comic in him just couldn't be done on it. Like the comedian in him, his Irish heritage was not letting him enjoy that heat, but he fought
No.
every bit of it. I mean, he drank the sauce at one stage and everything. It was like,
It's absolutely incredible. For anybody not familiar with the show, we'll throw up a link up for, but you have to have seen it. The show takes the form of a panel show, question and answer show, interview show. But for whatever reason, that's just the gimmick of it. They're eating increasingly spicy chicken wings, and nobody gets through it without making a little bit of a show of themselves. Snot running from the nose, eyes watering, big red bulb of a head in them, because these are like up into the millions of Scovilles of the heat. Conan, as Tom says there, with his Irish American heritage, would not be, I know me growing up, Tom, the spiciest thing I ate was a sauce called white sauce.
I was just gonna say white sauce.
All right, which is,
I mean, imaginatively named. It was paired alongside brown sauce.
yeah, white sauce. I mean, you could not get a blander sauce. Even like on days we would have parsley sauce, that would be like, parsley sauce is it's a little bit fancy now, but white sauce, literal white sauce. So I can't handle heat myself. More on that in a second. Conan slams through these wings like nobody has ever done before. There's no aim to the show. You don't win. There's no like who can do the most. There's no leaderboard. There's no record. But if there was, he would have smashed it. He would have obliterated it. He drank the sauce neat from the bottle, Tom.
Phenomenal. Like, and it's the who's who for anybody who's gone, I've never heard. It's the who's who of the entertainment world. Everybody's wants to be on it or has been on it at this stage. Like, they're on to
This
their
is the
17th or
show.
18th season. It's ridiculous the names they've had on, and nobody went harder at it than what I saw. I couldn't believe, because you can't obviously know what the flavor is through the screen, but you've seen what the toughest of characters. And one of my favorite ones
Yeah,
was Terry
cracker.
Crews, because Terry Crews has a shaved head. There was sweat hopping out the top of the man's, and
Yeah.
Shaq was fit
And
to pass
Shaq,
out.
yeah.
There was sweat popping out the top of that man's head. It was
There's
amazing.
a great episode with Idris Elba, and Idris Elba folds so completely in the middle of it,
Yeah.
that his reaction has become like a GIF online that just suggests pain and snot running, and he's gone. And Conan O'Brien shows up with his ginger hair and his translucent white skin, and he just starts necking. What he did, I have to tell you, Tom, what he did is impossible. You can't ignore the heat of this stuff. There's no way to blot it out. It's not like, like when you're at school and you were like, how long can you hold on to a radiator for bravado?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
pretend.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that where you hold on to a
Yeah.
radio? Boys are stupid. Well, we would hold on to like the bar of the radiator and see how long you could hold it. And you could kind of bluff your way through it for a couple of seconds, and you'd be like, it would show. Like there was a point this time that I felt that they were gimmicking it, that Conan was drinking like gimmick sauce that was just like ketchup.
I'm telling you
They were
now,
doing this for effect.
for anybody who can't connect the two, he's a stand-up comedian first and foremost. Went on to host the Tonight Show, which was our when I was in Boston in 2001. It was this is the one show because I didn't have much time for American television when we were all living in the house and whatever.
Very hard to watch now, yeah.
But with the ads, it was the killer was the ads. Every 3 minutes there seemed to be an ad. But
It's
Conan, we
it's
would
it's it's it- it's like eating American chocolate, Tom. You know what I mean? It's not the chocolate we were brought up on, and it's just like
there you
I
go.
don't know why is it like this?
And
And that's so be it with the TV. It's very
but when
broken up.
Conan would come on the Tonight Show on the Friday night, and there'd be repeats of it or whatever, we would all gather around the telly, like all bail into our flat or whatever, our apartment, and just be drinking beers because he was just. You're like, why? What? Why can't the Late Late Show be like this guy? He'd come out and he'd do his little spin and his hop, and he was so self-deprecating, but you knew he was just a genius comedian. And don't want to drop a huge, moment name here, but when we hung out backstage at the Late Late Show in a couple of months ago, um, do you know what I've been categorizing people's handshakes, and he had one of the
Yes.
finest handshakes a man I've ever met. For a man who never, you wouldn't imagine, did an awful lot of pulling and dragging out of 2x4s or
Yes, yes,
4x2s or
yes.
whatever they call them in
Yeah.
America, but fine, genuine man's handshake. But he did a thing even that night where, like, never been on the show before. He had them build the bow of a boat, and he stood on it, and they put wheels under it, and they pushed him out in front of cameras on the opening of the show with his hands out, and there was Irish flags hanging off it everywhere, as if he was coming back on the boat from
Right,
where his
right.
ancestors had traveled. And you're like, this guy is the ultimate performer. Wow, there's nothing this guy couldn't do if he put his mind to it. It came to an
And that
absolute,
is
and he
that is what it
proved
is.
it.
That is
He
what
he
he
proved it.
proved it. It's like, it's like he told his brain told all his senses, take the night off.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm just
yeah, yeah.
and I worry for the man because and this is what I wanted to talk to you, Tom, about is how are you yourself, sir, with hot sauces?
Hot sauce is like anything, Ger. You gotta build up. You can't, geez, you can't jump in both feet. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I'm really good with hot sauce. It's cause you must be eating spicy stuff the whole time, and that you built up a
Right.
tolerance, and you built up. Because I know it. Because come summertime, my tolerance builds up. By September, you could pour liquid nitrogen down my neck because it's barbecue
Right.
time, and I'm barbecuing 3 days of the week, and there's various different sauces. But I know the first one, I ain't going in there with the Carolina Reaper on some brisket. I'm telling you right now, it'll like even Frank's hot sauce. Like I have to water it down with butter to get me going first. Like, because my Irishness will just go, oh Jesus, 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 tone it down. We have to temper it, and we'll start with white sauce
You
first,
gotta
Gerry, and then
build
we'll,
your way up through salad cream.
we'll work
Um,
up to it.
I like a little bit of spice here and there, Tom, but like nothing really past Sriracha, Frank's Red Hot. Just on a side note there, on Frank's Red Hot sauce. Do
Mm.
you know what the Aldi ripoff of
I only
Frank's
saw it
is?
yesterday. I only
I
saw it
only saw it
yesterday.
today. Oh my God, I gotta throw an image of this up. It's it's like OJ's book, If I Did It, with the if real small.
I
It's
love
called
it.
it's called Frankly Amazing Hot
Yeah.
Sauce. But the amazing is tiny. So if you glance at it, it's like Frankly Hot Sauce? And at
Brilliant.
that
I
stage
love it. I
it's in the
love
bag. Yeah.
I love the
I
little
can't be
guy
mad
going
at it.
after the big guy. I love it because it's an Irish made
10 out of
company.
10, no
Whoever
notes.
whoever did it, I was like, yeah. How you got that across the board, across the line at when you were sitting down naming it. Like, brilliant. That didn't go, lads, we can't go sail this close to the wind. It's Frank's hot sauce. Like, and you're going, I think we give it a shot. We ask for forgiveness rather than
I'd
permission. One of those moments.
I- I'd I'd love to see, like, the Frank of Frank's hot sauce seeing us on the shelf and be like, get me legal.
I do know somebody who
What
was
do you mean?
a birthday
I'm just saying
entertainer,
it's frankly amazing. It's like,
and you think companies are too big to care. I knew somebody who was a children's entertainer, and they used to dress up. She used to dress up as like you want from Frozen or whatever, and maybe one or two other things. And she had
Yes,
the
yes,
costumes.
yes.
Well, by God, a Disney solicitor's letter came through her door. They had to be sent.
I don't.
They had to be sent
Yeah.
to their offices in France, and they were burned. All the costumes. So nobody's too big.
I
I'm just
mean,
saying, Frank's hot sauce and may come after Frankly amazing, but buy it now
make them
at
after
a
frankly
quarter the
amazing.
price.
But that's about the level of spice that I can comfortably handle. And anything after that, Tom. Here's the thing: if people have never had like one of these bizarre like Carolina Reaper
Mm,
hot sauces in their mouth, like it's not spicy like a curry or it's not spicy like an Indian food. Like it actually feels like someone held a spoon over the hob until it got hot and then pressed that into your tongue. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it feels like. It's not like oh it's tasty. It feels like burning metal in your mouth. Um,
I I
and
once
you can't taste anything.
I once ate a ghost chili, and Jerry, I will tell you now, that bastard came after me for 2 days in
Yeah,
every shape and form. Everything my
yeah,
body was doing, there was a
yeah,
semblance of that little bastard. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
burping, I was farting. I mean, the Jacks was an awful scenario. I had to wash my hands 94 times. Like it was
yeah.
everything. There was sweat
I'll
coming
tell
out
you,
of me. Herself could smell chili in the air just as I
yeah,
walk. Like it was, I'm down for food, right? I will go wild. I've done the hot wings challenge in what used to be a place called the Aussie Outback in Dublin.
yeah.
I don't know where I rated on it. I finished them, but again, I was in bits after it. I was an utter. Even my fingers were burning from holding the wings.
Yeah.
Now comes a point where you have to go. Well, is it still food if it's trying to hurt you?
Like, what are we doing here? One of the worst things I ever had in my lifetime, and I've tried hot sauce, but like in as much as like you'll just try a little dip of it and like oh
Mm,
no, not for me, Dan, thank you. But one of the worst things I ever like actively engaged in. Uh, there came into the house via various American relatives and whatnot a pack of microwave popcorn, habanero microwave popcorn.
okay,
So
habanero on
habanero,
popcorn.
habanero, yeah,
Okay,
all right.
yeah,
And you've made microwave popcorn, I'm sure, in your time, Tom.
uh-huh,
Okay,
yeah,
you pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, and then you take out the bag and you open the bag and you're met with like a gust of steam.
yes.
This was like getting tear gassed. Just like you open right, you opened the yeah we popped it and we opened it and the hot habanero pepper oil infused air escaped it and like everybody in the room, not just me, not just wee childish me, everybody in the room was like and clutching their eyes and like
It was like that scene in
all
The
this kind of
Rock
thing.
with Nicolas Cage, where the little green ball of glass ball broke, and
Yeah,
the VX gas just started
yeah.
going around the room, melted people's faces.
We were there like it's like the scene in The Mummy where they open the coffin and it pisses out like salt and like so, and I had a couple of good handfuls like that, and like that Tom as well. Like the old joke is like, haha, you had an arse like a Japanese flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an arse like a Japanese flag, the pre-World War II version.
Land of the Rising Sun. Yeah,
Like here we go.
yeah.
So
Christian Bale and a child
to witness all that
living in
from
a
from a couple of handfuls of habanero popcorn to seeing my man's brave attempt. It's not even a brave. I wonder. It's not even my man's brave attempt. It's my man's foolish attempt for our goodwill, for us to laugh. He's
That's all.
necking Carolina Reaper sauce.
That's all it is. It's not actually a competitive thing. I know what he's doing. He's in the mode. He's going, well, we're all like, he's died in rooms, you know what I mean? Where you're going, well, I'm all
Yeah,
in here now. And that's where he went. You
yeah.
could see his eyes were hanging out of his head. In most recent times, the week before last, I was driving home from Dublin, and you get the munchies and you pull into a petrol station. There's one particular petrol station had these crisps. I said, what are those things? She went, oh, we just got them in. I'm not sure. There were these squiggly little corn snack things. I went, they'll do perfect for
Oh,
the
I know them.
drive. They'll do perfect for the drive. I don't know
Yeah.
what part of Turkmenistan these things came out of, Jer, but I decided to get myself a
And they're called
coffee.
packets or something, aren't they?
Oh, I don't know, Jer. I don't know. All I know is I left past the
Yeah.
Red Cow in Dublin. I cracked him open. Needless to say, I didn't get past out of County Dublin, which isn't very big. I got to Rathcoole and went, well, we'll have to just even get these out of the car. I can't. I couldn't drink the coffee for another 50 kilometers because it was burning the inside of my teeth. Like, gee, there's no rhyme or reason to these things. This is
No.
just scandalous. I shouldn't be driving with these yokes in the car, let alone trying to stuff my face. And you
You
do.
pulled over.
I pulled over. They had to go straight in the bin. They had to go straight into the
Yeah.
bin. And I made sure
I'll,
to get
I'll,
them all in there because I didn't even want a wildlife affecting themselves by eating
I
these
want
things.
nothing to do with them. I'll give you one before
Disgusting.
we move off the subject, Tom. I'll give you one before we move off the subject. And here's one that could come back to bite us in the butt later on.
on.
I actually have a bottle of the last dab.
Why did you get that? You have a bottle of it.
I just
hold it right up to
yeah.
the camera there for the shot. Wow, you
There you go.
actually
You just got that
have
shot
it.
there.
Yeah.
There you
Whoa.
go. I bought that. We were on holidays last year, I think. Yeah, last year, and I saw it in a shop, and it was $20, and I bought it for the novelty of it. And it hasn't been uncorked. And anytime I feel like dying, I will uncork it. So I don't know if that's
Oh,
I don't know if
Gerry,
that's a Christmas special.
I think
You wanna see me
yeah,
make a
we're
clown of myself
we're gonna have
drinking
to
that?
sit down. Yeah, we're gonna have to sit. I'll make the wings. I make good wings. But
Oh,
we'll
I don't doubt that.
no, you need. That's it now. The listeners will now. They know it's out there. They'll insist on us having to do the hot wings chat. Oh Jesus!
Let's I think there's enough Irish online personalities trying things for clicks without us starting, Tom. I think that market's well and truly covered. But once more, we got a shout out to Conan O'Brien. Can't say highly enough of him. He really is this week. This lad.
100%.
All right, Tom. Yeah, so there we go, Tom. I think it's about time to wrap up the show. We hope everybody has enjoyed it. And Tom, we didn't even start a row this week.
Wished. 1 second. 1 second. We still have time on the clock. I'm looking at it here. We still have time on the clock. And I have to bring it up because more and more it seems to be entering into my life. Friends seem falling by the wayside. I'm just judging. I'm judging by your backdrop. It's gaming. It's adult men gaming, and I know
You're
into
going to start a
it.
row with me about gaming.
I'm starting a row. I am starting a row. I don't want to start a row. But I'm starting a row.
My attitude is don't start nothing. Won't be nothing.
Okay.
I
Talk to me,
can't.
Tom.
I can't
Get it off
stand
your
over.
chest here.
It's right up there with seeing grown men on e-scooters. It's not that I can put my finger on why, but we were called to friends of ours the other day. He came out of the sitting room, eyes hanging out of his head. I said, geez, you all right? He's sick. He's no, and this is Call of Duty. He's an American chap, the same lad. He says, can I? And I mean, it turned into this antisocial moment where he's like, I gotta go back. And he was saying it in a way like, the baby's crying, I gotta go feed it. And in a natural, I was supposed to understand this moment that hey, we just called your house. And he had to leg it away to get back on with his dude, you got a belly hanging over your belt. What are we doing here? Like, what, And even his missus was like, show what our fella's like. I'm like, what? No, what? She's like, it's gas. Because I came in there one day and like he had bottles of piss around the room because he just couldn't even leave because it was that intense of a game. I'm like, what in the sweet Jesus Christ did you just say? What did you just say? This is some Cold War.
It sounds to me,
stuff,
Tom. I gotta get some clarity on this here. Okay, so are you against computer games in general, or are you against online gaming, or are you against just the very particular section of the audience that takes it way too far and really feels like they're in a war?
Do you know what? I can't stop. I should stop at the latter. I should stop at the latter, but I feel I'd be misrepresenting.
It feels like you're coming from me playing Tetris as well. What the hell?
I'm going after the whole lot. And once you pass the age of 18, Ger, I think it's out the door. Even if you desperately want to. Even if you desperately want to. Now, I'm going to let you in a secret here, Gerry. I'm rowing about this. But like many things, I'm probably wrong with myself about this because I know my addictive personality. I know full well. I remember the day I caught that Xbox and I fired it straight through the window because I cannot. I can't. I can't. I can't be around these things, and I understand. Jerry, yes, yeah. Jerry's backdrop is literally, yeah. It
I
is.
do want to say
It's a
I've never
smorgasbord.
done it. I haven't done it yet. Okay, but
What haven't you
let
done?
me just bring this over here. I just had I haven't done it yet. What you're talking about is rage quitting, where you get so angry that you snap the thing off at the wall, or you, as you say yourself, fire the Xbox through the window. I've never done that, but I'll tell you what I've come close to several times, and it speaks to the wonderful engineering of a computer gaming company. This is a controller of a
He's holding up
PlayStation
a
2.
PlayStation 2 controller, right?
Yes, sorry, I keep forgetting that we're doing a little bit of this for video content as well, for future use. But a PlayStation controller, Tom, okay? For anyone who has never had it in your hands, old game pads used to be just like that. It would sit in your hand and it was flat. But the PlayStations started having like pronged controllers that sit nicely in your hand, okay? So like there's two prongs that sit in your hand, so nice. And what that does is it just lends itself so easily to twisting the thing and snapping it in half when you get mad. And it's just like it gives you the perfect purchase on a thing to twist it like a jam jar and
Yes.
snap it clean in half down the middle. Now, how I haven't done that in 20 years of dying on Metal Gear Solid and Gears of War and whatever it would be, because all the controllers kind of followed that two-prong design, and it just lends itself so nicely to just like snapping its neck, like James Bond snapping a Russian's neck. And I haven't done it, and that just speaks to the quality of these things. Because yes, I have been that soldier where I've gotten so mad and I've died for the 100th time, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna
But that'll tell you
pipped at the post, and I'm like,
they've
"Grr!"
built it to a standard where they know you shouldn't be playing with it.
Oh yeah,
They know
no,
you
these
shouldn't be
nerds
anywhere
are
near
going to
it.
be trying to snap
Yeah,
these
these
things.
nerds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to be fair, you might have you'd have a bit of grip strength. But the average bloke playing these things, like, I mean, he's not going to snap that in half in a fit. Like, but I
I mean,
think that
apparently I don't, Tom. I'd love to hear from the listeners. Has anybody ever cleanly snapped a controller, just like cracking a crab claw, just cleanly ripped it in half?
for sure they have. For
Yeah,
sure they have.
or do you lack the upper body strength to do such a thing? Because
This
apparently I do.
it's just for me. It's become such an every time I look like talking with friends who I can't believe that this is a pastime that they put down. I'm like, good, sweet, suffering Jesus. And it's really it is the online one where you're playing with other dudes from around the world. I knew a guy who worked in a building site with him a couple of years back, and he had turned into he turned into a complete racist since hanging out with these people. I was like, oh, right. You have no reason to be racist at all, but suddenly you're racist now against things. Okay, this is all right. We're
Yes,
done. And this guy was trying to
yes.
justify getting home in the door, slapping the door behind him, microwave dinner and down in front and join the boys. I'm like, that's not joining the boys. I'm sorry, but that is not joining the
Yeah,
boys. And worse again,
you
the
know,
boys you're talking with
no,
make you want to put a pillowcase on your head. That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like, this is
Something tells me if computer games turned them racist, tell me he didn't have that far to turn. But I know what you're talking about because I have worked with boys in the past. Now I got to tell you, full disclosure on a couple of things here, Tom. Yes, I do. I can't, with the backdrop here, say I
yeah,
don't play computer games. I don't and have never played online games against
right.
anybody. I've never gone online and and played anything. I think I got a demo of Call of Duty a couple of years back, and I went online to have a bop around and play, because it was just like it wasn't the full game, and it was just like, oh, you can play one map online or whatever like that.
Yeah.
No fun whatsoever, no enjoyment, zero. I had absolutely no desire to ever do it back again, because you have to wait in the lobby until the game
Ah,
starts, and then you go
Jesus.
in and there's like 10 people, and I was no good at it. I was just getting sniped left, right, and all center, like, so there's a difference between not liking the thing and not being good at it. I don't like it. I'm no good at it, so I don't go online for anything. um I think it's a wonderful hobby to have, Tom, to sit down and play a computer game. And I'm 44 years of age, near enough, 43-ish. Sit down and I'll play my computer games and get immersed in the story and all that. Now, I do have to turn around after all that and say most of the stories I am getting immersed in involve uh,
Murder.
plumbers in a well, no. If it was murder, it would be one thing. Mine involve plumbers in a magical world, jumping on mushrooms and saving princesses from dragons.
Would you not be better off whittling a piece of timber or something, or just, grumbling away like a proper owlful is supposed to be doing? Like,
I'd be better off doing a lot of things, Tom. But even like even the games where it's all murder, murder, murder. I'll play those too, but I would never in my life take them online. And may your God go with you if that's what you like to do. I work with several lads, as I said here. I work with several lads who would take 2 days annual leave
Jesus,
every year when the new Call of Duty came out.
Jesus.
When the new Call of
Christ.
Duty came out, they just knew that they were going to play that for 18 hours a day.
Like they're wearing a nappy, Jerry. You know that, like they're wearing a nappy. They're getting
I,
adult diapers. They are. They
I,
are. Whether you want to
I
believe it or
can't,
not, they are.
I don't know that they would have gone so far into the adult diaper world, but I can promise you one thing,
You
Tom.
took 2 days of your
Mm,
holidays.
Yeah, I don't know that they were fully in the adult diapers, but I can promise you one thing. Uh, Washing themselves was not, high on the agenda.
My friend had to let a woman go because of the exact same problem. She was a woman that was working on an accounting team, and she was turning off. And literally, you'd know if she'd sat on a seat. You'd know if she sat on the seat. 20
And
minutes
what was she
later,
playing?
she was in some old world thing. She was going. She was living in another
One of them
world.
world games.
She was in another, like, the
Well,
there's The Sims and then there's New World or something like that, where she was actually living a life. She'd a husband and everything. You know what I mean? This one was, but they waffed after her, and several times they went, Trina, or whatever
dear
we'll
yourself.
call her.
Help,
You
help
may
us
go
out
home.
here.
You may go home, find a sup of H2O, and strike it off your body, girl, because you're pungent. And she took offense with it, and
You're a
HR,
pungent. You're a pungent woman.
you're a pungent woman, and
Which
HR,
she took offense with HR.
yeah. But like, Jesus, I mean, she did run backwards into your own draft, and you'll know what we're talking about. Like, but she did running back, much like OJ.
Much,
But they had to let her
much
go
like
for a
OJ,
finish.
he was running back from.
There was yeah, she was feral now. It was raw. You couldn't be in the office alongside her for a finish because she was so immersed in this false world where she had a family and she none of these things. She none of these things. So this was the full danger of the whole thing. And
There's there's a sadness to that too, Tom. Now I will say.
I will say,
And I will say, if you're if you're engaged in any activity where you're so stuck into it that you're becoming smelly. I can't find a nicer way of saying that, Tom.
no,
But if you're doing anything and you're
oh,
becoming smelly, like that could be anything. That could be, as you say yourself, whittling wood. You've just told me to go whittle a bit of wood. Like, but if
you
I get
have a
so bet into
beard of a
whittling
man
wood
who
that I
whittles
don't
wood.
shower, yeah, we're gonna have to save that for the wood whittling episode now.
If
If you're
I
doing
ha-
it, yeah, there you go, Tom. If you're doing anything that drives you to madness, be it, playing computer
Smelliness,
games
if you end up
or,
smelly, I think that's the cutoff point for anything. And maybe that's my biggest problem is that
that's a
if you
good,
end
that's a
up
good, that's a
stinky,
good point to wheel up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now I can't let it go. Probably have a deep rooted grievance with some of the big gaming industries, because they've stolen me. They have stolen me. I don't know
They've
if
stolen you,
well, let me
like
get
kidnapped you.
I can't share this, but I will put it up on the clip. So first and foremost, I
For
get
once,
sent
ladies and
these.
gentlemen,
This is just two
the world of
examples.
podcasting cannot
Well, you can describe it to
convey
the
what's
people
happening here.
you can describe it to the people what you're seeing. So these get sent to me every so often, right? From friends, from going, like, you'll get bizarre ones.
So, okay. So it's a Grand Theft Auto, like the cartoon characters from Grand Theft Auto on the loading screen or some such. Okay, yeah, I see him there. He's a guy with a gold-plated gun and he's driving a sports car. What's his story?
Have a look. Have a look a bit closer, Jer. Minus the moustache.
I mean, there's a passing resemblance. Did someone steal your likeness?
It would seem so. And I'm gonna go back. And I chased this down. I chased because I was our good friend Paul Marsh
Hello,
in
Paul.
Call of Duty. Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
Do you know what I'm going to tell you, Tom? Like, these are, how will I put this to you?
Are you gonna say I have a general head Is that what you're saying? I have a
I
general
did.
head.
I'm trying not to insult anybody here, Tom, but these are
Generic heads.
stock characters for computer games. You know, white
There's
chaps with crew
Ger,
cuts.
I have been stolen, and it's not the first time. There's been many more. A friend of mine who did actually work for Rockstar Games, who
What?
I went to school with. He was working for him, I think in Canada or California. I'm not sure. And I said, "What? What?" He sent me one day. Since he'd left him, he'd left Rockstar. He's gone to some other crowd, and he went, "Oh no, there's." He says it would be, but there'd be an amalgamation of a bunch of faces. That Jesus, here's the thing: they can't. I'm not saying they have stole your face, but they can steal your face because it's not stealing anymore. Once, soon as you sign up to any social media at all, the computer game industries. But that's what, like, I'm not saying that they actually stole my face, but I think they
No,
stole my face. But what I'm saying is
they
they
clearly
have
haven't.
they they're allowed to have anybody's face. The computer game industry can have anybody's face. Anybody who's signed up to any social media, that's it, free reign.
You're
You,
done.
you've let them
So,
have your face.
so
So can you imagine being Gerry? You kick in the door on Grand Theft Auto, some sleazy brothel, and you're to maybe turn over the boss inside there and kick him around. And then you look around, and one of the hookers in the corner is me looking back at you. That would just
mustache and all.
be mustache and all, full lingerie with the mustache
Oh
and
my
everything.
God.
I just think it's a seedy business that nobody should be involved in. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
there you go. Okay. Well, listen, I mean, like, you put forward a good argument. I like to think I defended my case a little bit, but we're going to have to throw it open to the listeners of the Tom and Jerry show to let us know where they fall on computer games in general. It really seems that Tom is mad at everything from Grand Theft Auto to Pong over here. Like,
No time for it, sir. No time for it.
no
Let
time.
it to let it to the children. Let it to
Okay.
children, okay?
Okay. So Grand Theft Auto for children only. Over the age of 12, don't play Grand Theft Auto.
No, 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 no.
Okay, sold. Let us know, guys, what you think of that in the comments. And other than that, do you know what else you can do for the betterment of the Tom and Jerry show, ladies and gentlemen? You can follow us on all our social media outlets. You know where they are. You'll find us at Tom and Jerry Show on most platforms. Will get you that. You can follow me and Tom if you're also in it. You can subscribe. You can share. You can shout it out a window. Just spread the word for the Tom and Jerry Show.
Absolutely. Hit subscribe on whatever platform you're on. And if you can leave a rating, please do. Leave the highest one, because anything below the highest one is of absolutely no use to us. It's just to make it more visible to more people. We'd appreciate it. Maybe
Bang,
screen
bang,
grab.
bang.
A few people screen grabbed during the week, which was class. One chap, Chris, he was up, I was roofing, drove him mad. He was absolutely being blown out of by the rain and the wind, but he was roofing, having a great old time listening to Tom and Jerry. So please, that'd be great. We'd
Yes,
love to
let us
know what
know.
people are actually listening to it. Other than that, I suppose, Ger.
Yeah, that's home time, Tom. The bell is ringing. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Tom and Jerry Show.
Good luck.
Tom and Jerry Show is sponsored by findavenue.ie.
For over 10 years, findavenue.ie has been working in the Dublin area, helping thousands of companies with all their venue needs. From corporate parties to away days, training seminars, conferences, summer barbecues to Christmas parties. The lot.
As a pair of comedians who know what it's like when the wrong venue gets booked for the wrong occasion, we can assure you that findavenue.ie is the go-to service when you're looking for a venue for your upcoming event. Simply contact them at findavenue.ie and they'll do the rest, saving you precious time and hassle.
Best of all, findavenue.ie is absolutely free to use.
Get out of here.
I'm telling you now, with findavenue.ie, free means free. No hidden costs or sneaky charges, all backed up with an incredible team offering you great customer service throughout the whole process. If you need a venue for anything from corporate day out to a quiz night, a gala dinner, or even a virtual event, findavenue.ie is your one-stop shop for all.
Head over to findavenue.ie to see how they can help you with your next event.
Thanks again to this week's sponsor for the Tom and Jerry Show, findavenue.ie.